everybody, welcome to today's show. We're going to be talking about one of my favorite topics, which is upgrading your AR-15. Here is our test subject for the day. Some of you may remember that just a couple of weeks ago, we pulled this out of the back of the gun safe and decided to renovate an abandoned AR-15. This was a build from more than 10 years ago, and it's completely spray paint. That camo job, I did it myself with some blue painter's tape and some spray paint. So keeping with that theme, we also spray painted our handguard. We also spray painted the one piece that's missing here, and that is our forward assist. Back in the day when I was making this gun, I was not a big fan of forward assist, and I think I didn't have one in stock, and so I just built this without one. It's never had one, but we're gonna fix that here today. So here's some easy upgrades that are kind of fun to do. They can improve both your actual shooting as well as just the overall aesthetic of the gun. So number one on our list is going to be painting. No reason why you can't spray paint your own rifle. I know that that can be a little bit scary, and especially if you only have one gun, you're thinking you're going to ruin it. You probably won't. Just remember that at the end of the day, spray paint can be removed. You can also choose to send your gun off to Cerakote. They will bead blast everything off and start fresh. So if you do screw something up and you want to fix it later with Cerakote, it's only going to cost you a couple $100s to get a custom Cerakote job. We have a new Cerakoter on the channel. He's got a project that he's working on for us that I'm very excited about. It's called BMF Rifle Works. I'll leave a link for them down below if you're in the Dallas-Fort Worth area and you want to check those guys out. So far, so good, and you can judge for yourself when you see the project that's coming in. So I knew that if I messed this up, it was really no big deal. So the original was a dark green, and I chose to tape that off and leave it black. And so I wanted to kind of match that just because we were going with something that was already existing. So paint is an easy way to upgrade your rifle. Pretty inexpensive. There's nothing wrong with painting the plastic parts, the grip, magazines, barrels. Just tape off what you don't want painted. Take the gun apart a little bit. It is easier to take the handguard off and paint that separately. You'll see plenty of people, and it's totally doable. Just tape off your Optic and lay it down and spray paint it. You'll see plenty of videos of people doing that with varying results. It is definitely going to wear, and sometimes that wear actually kind of looks good. Right here you can see on the handguard, we've got a little bit of wear coming in. I'm not gonna worry about it. We're gonna run this as is for a while, and if it gets too bad or if we don't like it, this could be another gun that we send off down the road to the Cerakote shop. Next easy upgrade, you will notice this on almost every rifle that we've done here recently, and that is the Kung Fu grip from Die Free Company. Even some of the really high-end guns, they come with this mil-spec A2 style grip. And there's nothing wrong with these. You can definitely run them. You can see that they are very swept back. I find the angle of the more vertical grips to be a little bit more comfortable. I feel like it puts my hand in a little bit better position, but there's absolutely nothing wrong with running these. They're serviceable. I've seen people who grind the nubs off. We even did some stippling ourselves on this one, and it actually adds a ton of grip. But overall, I chose to swap this out because of the angle. Definitely like that more vertical look as well as feel on my guns. So if you choose something like Die Free, these guys do a really good job with design. There's even some companies who are taking the Die Free grip and offering their own stipple packages in the panel. Really cool looking stuff. When we brought this out of retirement, I talked about the bolt carrier group and the barrel. Those were some upgrades that we already did on this gun. It was actually done that way because I built this gun from scratch. It's a Palmetto upper and lower, and I chose some of the components originally and picked a good bolt carrier group as well as a nice quality barrel. But I was shopping in the bargain basement when I picked up this tanker style muzzle device. Realistically, I purchased this for two reasons. One, it was available on Amazon. I could get it really quick. And two, it was incredibly cheap. I don't remember how much it was, but it was probably in the $20 or $30 category. This is a tanker style muzzle device, and it looks as if those are designed by someone who saw a picture of a muzzle device and then copied it, had it made out of metal, and put them for sale on Amazon. I don't believe that that does much in regards to why the actual reasons why you want a muzzle device. And so one of the things I always wanted to do was upgrade this muzzle device. We have been working with Ultradyne. You can see their logo right there. Been working with Ultradyne on a couple of projects, and this is the exact opposite of that for a muzzle device. This one is actually designed to do some things. You can see ports on top there help with muzzle rise. Now, 223 doesn't have a ton of muzzle rise anyway, but if you can do something, you have to have a muzzle device. So if you can do something while you're there, putting a muzzle device on, you might as well, right? So it's not terribly expensive. You can spend anywhere from $30 to $200 on a muzzle device. This is definitely somewhere in the middle, and I very much appreciate the look of it. I think it looks fine, and it does make for a pretty upgraded shooting experience. This one didn't really do much to curb any of the recoil impulse. It really does feel a whole lot better with this one. And I know that that's mostly subjective, but it does feel better, and this gun is a whole lot to shoot. Now, part of that is also because the other upgrade we did was our trigger. This has a Geisley two-stage trigger, and it wouldn't be my first choice for a gun like this, but it actually works really well. Some guys like the two-stage for guns like this. More of a battle rifle style build. Some guys like the two-stage for that. I've always been of the impression that for hunting and for a battle rifle, I want a single stage. It mimics kind of what mil-spec is. But nothing wrong with that on this. I was able to shoot really quickly. The break is super clean. I only have a couple of Geisley triggers. This is the only one like this that I have, and I very much like it. I would definitely use them again. Now, back to the handguard. The handguard that was on here was doing us no favors at all. It was a old style. First of all, it had key mod. It was one of those styles where the handguard actually screws onto the barrel nut. So you have to use the little pins on your wrench to put that on there. I definitely broke a couple of pins in that process. You get that thing crooked at all, and that aluminum's gonna pop. And then you screw your handguard on, and there's a little shim that allows you to align it. Absolutely no lockup whatsoever. It's just kind of on there with a couple of set screws. Now contrast that with a handguard that's actually doing something for us. One, it's incredibly thin, way thinner than the ones from the early 2000s. Far better design overall there. We have M-LOK on the side. We don't have it where we don't need it. Overall, this handguard is much lighter. It's much thinner, feels and looks great. Now, this handguard is made and sent to us by a company called Breek Arms. They're doing some really cool things with handguards. Happy to incorporate one of theirs into our build. You can see a much more robust lockup system. Now, this one doesn't have any anti-rotation tabs, but it's very solid in the way that it locks up to the barrel with some grooves, and it's not going anywhere. I feel very confident about this. I would feel incredibly confident about this compared to almost anything on the market. You've probably heard of Breek because of their charging handles. This is a sledgehammer from Breek Arms. Has a nice design where it's pretty easy to grab onto. I like to grab right here on the side and rack, and this works really well for that. The A2 style, the older ones, this was actually the original one that was on this gun, upgrade, air quotes, with this giant lever. It kind of got in the way, sticks out a little further than it should, and it's not ambidextrous, but it did work for the style of recharging that I do, where I'm here on the side. So it did work for me, but it definitely didn't do us any favors. This one actually can do some things with gas, where it can help mitigate some of the gas that's coming back. It is possible that this gun could be suppressed. We've added a couple of suppressors that I haven't told you about. Still waiting for a couple of them to get here and a couple of them to clear through the ATF. Breek also makes a muzzle device that is suppressor friendly that would allow you to use a suppressor on a couple of different guns. I'm going more and more the way of the suppressor these days, and it's possible that this gun will get upgraded with a suppressor at some point. So we'll see about that down the road. Charging handles can be expensive. If you look at some of the big names, Radian, Raptor, some of those like that, they're over $100. Breek does a good job of having a cool design, being high quality with a great warranty, a company that is standing behind their product. In addition to that, they're about half the price of some of those big ones. So in the $50 to $75 range, depending on which model you choose, the Breek charging handle is a good option. Die Free Company just released something to go along with their Kung Fu grip. It's called the Tiger Claw, and it is a front handle, hand stop, barricade stop thing. I expected mine to be here by now. I got a shipping notice, but it's not here yet. With all the holiday stuff going on, I imagine it could be delayed. But we looked at a couple of different designs. This is an aluminum one that I considered putting on there, and here is a polymer one that I considered putting on there. Both of those would be fine choices. I just decided at the end of the day that this is not a gun that really needs a barricade stop that's like a standalone unit. So I might see if that Tiger Claw, maybe we can put it right in this area and it could potentially double as a barricade stop. It's not really the style of shooting that I do, but it could be something fun to play with. As soon as it gets here, I'll show it to you and we'll put it on here. A couple things left on the list here. Now, scraping the bottom of the barrel is this Vortex Crossfire. This is a 1-4. It is Vortex, and some people get really excited about Vortex. I'm not really a big fan of Vortex. They do have a good warranty, and that is a decent piece of glass for what you paid for it. That optic with the mount can be had for $200. I do have it listed on some of the optics that I've tested pages, but it's not necessarily one that I would recommend. Now, in this case with this gun, when you first get a gun and you just need to put an optic on there, it's not a bad spot to start. And depending on the direction that you're taking your gun, that's really going to determine what components that you're going to end up using. If you want a 100% every single day, high quality, then you're going to have to upgrade your optic as well as a couple of other things. But as far as, hey, this is a range toy, I'm going to train with it, I need to get used to it, maybe it's on my first AR-15, nothing wrong with something like that. It's a couple $100, and you can always recycle that optic to another gun down the road. I will be upgrading this optic, which will get a full battery of tests. I can't show you that optic quite yet. We're waiting on the mount to get Cerakoted, and the optic just got here. I'll show it to you a little bit later on. The more that I've shot this gun, the more that I've come to appreciate it. And I actually feel bad for it being in the back of the safe and unshot for so long. It got a lot of use initially because it was one of only a couple of ARs that I had. Did a lot of shooting with it. It had quite a few rounds on it, and then it just got buried behind all the other projects. This was way before I was uploading videos to YouTube. I really wish that I had filmed the paint job process. I always said I might do that later, but we haven't gotten back there. It was a lot of fun, and all of this gun is now spray painted, including the forward assist that we'll be putting on here shortly. After that forward assist goes on, this gun will be 100% complete and ready to continue to test. I would like to go maybe take another carbine class with it, although I have several other good choices now. But this gun just snuck up on me. I didn't mean to like it so much in the same way that extreme budget when we built the cheapest possible rifle, and then we went back and upgraded a couple of things on it. That gun with the optic was under $500 before we put a Elfman trigger and a Die Free Company grip on it. And that gun shoots so good. The recoil impulse is phenomenal. It just feels really good. A lot of that has to do with that Elfman trigger, which is really nice. A trigger can make a big difference in your enjoyability. I don't particularly love shooting 5.56. This has made me wish that I was doing a little bit more training. So this gun will probably see a training class. I've signed up for a couple of rifle classes. They had some deals over Black Friday and for the Christmas holiday. So hopefully I can get back out there and do some more rifle training. So I'm interested in what are some upgrades that you have done. What do you think is worth it? What is not worth it? What are some things that you're wanting to do in the future? Some things that you'd like to maybe try out? Maybe there's a light or a grip or a new handguard you want to try. Let me know. I'd love to hear about it. All right, guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.